President Biden, who promised in his inaugural address to unify a divided nation, will deliver a primetime address from Philadelphia's Independence Hall, the birthplace of our Constitution. How will he attempt to unify us, as he promised on day one of his presidency? By demonizing pretty much half of our registered voting population, the 70-plus million people who voted for Donald Trump, the people that President Biden claimed last week, quote, have embraced semi-fascism, the people that just yesterday the White House press secretary said were extremist threats to our democracy. Let me say something that I've never said before in 40 years of broadcasting about my personal politics. I voted twice for Donald Trump because I thought him to be the less imperfect of two candidates. I am at heart a libertarian in the sense that I believe, as my grandfather once told me, quote, in this country, you have the right to be left alone. Given the binary choice in the voting booth, I felt Donald Trump was closer to our constitutional foundation and the promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness than either of his 2016 or 2020 Democratic opponents. I also believed Donald Trump was careless and responsible himself for many of his political troubles. But I'm deeply angry and resentful of anybody who suggests that I or anybody else who made that same binary choice in a voting booth should be labeled by today's president a semi-fascist. I've had good history teachers throughout my life. I know exactly what fascism is. At its most basic level, fascism embodies a consolidation of political power. It attempts to limit political opposition, and it mandates how and what private industry can produce. Given what's happening in our country today, the union of big tech with centralized government, the shadow banning of conservative opposition, the outright banning of those who question the efficacy of vaccine mandates, the banning of even a former U.S. president from speaking his voice on some platforms, all that is technically much closer to fascism than anything Donald Trump did. As we approach the midterms, look for Democrats to increase the frequency of the fascism accusations. Yesterday, the Washington Times reported, and I quote, Democrats are tagging their Republican opponents with extreme labels ahead of the midterm elections and linking the party to violence, fascism, and Nazis. Another common trait of fascism is the fifth column, the agent provocateur, the person who infiltrates the opposition party, who wreaks havoc to make it appear the opposition is bent on threats, violence, and illegality. It happened to then-candidate, now Governor, Glenn Youngkin in Virginia, when a group of never-Trumpers from the Lincoln Project showed up at a Youngkin rally dressed up as white supremacists to make it appear that white supremacists embraced Youngkin's candidacy. So when you see reports of the Nazi flag seen at some Governor Ron DeSantis or some other Republican rally, question it, just as you would question, say, Jussie Smollett or some other perpetrator of fake hate crimes, a phenomenon that is on the rise these days. Take nothing at face value. And finally, there is an informal law of rhetoric known as Godwin's Law. It posits that the first person in an argument who invokes history's worst episode, Nazism or fascism, as the equivalent to some present-day conflict, well, that person loses the argument. President Biden, you've lost the argument. Hi, I'm Doug McKelway, and thank you for watching Centerpoint. We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. Leave a comment below and keep the conversation going by sharing this video with a friend who needs to see it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.